Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
You want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead. If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
You're such professionals.
You really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
Oh my God, I have no idea how to do that. In theory, there's a slider somewhere where you can, decrease the volume and fade in properly. I can't find it. So if you're listening to this, I apologize for that abrupt end to the intro, but that's how we do things here. I am Amy with a Y, and I am without Amy with an I this week. And I have two very special guests that Amy with an I does not know about, because it's my birthday, and it's my birthday gift to myself that I get to talk to these two people alone without that other bitch. So welcome Dawn and Jon, who were on a couple of weeks ago with Amy with an I, but now they're all mine. So say hello to everybody, Dawn and Jon.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. They're very cool. They're from St. Louis, and I get to see them at Skepticon.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking better be in town that
I think
weekend.
we
Like,
will
you're
be.
not going to Bermuda or anything, are you? Because
Not until later in the year.
okay, good. Because it's
Yeah.
like
I
you're
think
always on
we're going to
vacation.
go to Belize this year, but
Yeah,
talking about going like around September-ish. Somewhere around
seems
there.
decent. Yeah, when I found out Skepticon was happening again, I was way too excited. I was just like, yes, I get to see all these people again that I've been wanting to see. And I can bring more pictures of my cats for you guys.
Oh my gosh. We have plenty of wall space. So because
Good.
the last time you guys came, we were still in separate houses,
Mm-hmm.
but we sold those houses and then bought this one together. So
Okay, so now you have plenty of room. I could get a bigger one, is what you're saying.
I mean,
like a poster size.
I
Okay.
need something big, and I mean, I really need something to complement the cursed Picasso.
Oh, I can do that. Have you
But,
seen the picture of my cat as Queen Elizabeth I?
No, but that sounds fantastic.
Because I feel like that would look really good in a nice decorative frame.
Oh my gosh, that could go in the dog room.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
So we already have
Mhm.
we have portraits of our dogs
ooh,
in-
I love it.
in various period correct costumes.
Yes. Yes.
And so the funniest one is our dog Mark is a tripod. He's missing.
You have
one
a
of his
dog
front
named
arms.
Mark. Hold on.
Yeah,
let
his
me
name is Mark.
process that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark,
Okay, now go
Norman,
ahead.
And Froyo, the Destroyer, Lord of the Cuteness.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
So Mark is missing one of his arms.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we got the portraits, we were like, okay, this one's going to be a Viking. This one's going to be a princess, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to Mark, we were like,
Hi.
pirate.
And it's so perfect. So yeah.
Oh my God. I can just, that is the
Okay.
absolute perfect option. I had one done of Lady Shoo Shoo, who is my beautiful, beautiful part Himalayan, I think, cat. I
Yeah.
don't know. She's gorgeous. But I got a new phone, which means I needed a new phone case. And I'm like, what would be cool to put on this case? My cat as a medieval
Yes.
queen, because
Yes.
why not? And then I found this whole world on Etsy of templates where you can just put your fucking cat's face right on it, and dog ones. And so I downloaded a 20-pack of famous painting templates that you can just put faces onto, and then got someone else to do it for me because I'm not good at that sort of thing. So now I have a gorgeous picture of her as Queen Elizabeth I. And I showed my husband, who rolled his eyes, but was like, Okay, that's kind of interesting. But now we need one of Chappie or Lord Chappington, who is our big burly cat, and of course he really has a Henry VIII vibe going on.
Mhm.
So I have the same friend now working on a portrait of Chappie as Henry VIII because he's just big, and that needs to happen. And then once I get them, I will blow them up huge and maybe put them in my living room. We'll see.
I mean,
or send them to you for your living room, because
I mean, they'll go in our reading room. Like when you walk in our house, on the very first room on the right is our reading room, and we have like shelves and a whole bunch of books. And that's where all the dog portraits are, and where our what are they called?
Cuddle clones.
Our cuddle clones of our dogs, because we have a problem.
That what is a cuddle?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I need to go.
Okay, a cuddle clone is like it's a custom stuffed animal of your pet. So
oh my gosh,
we had them made of the original 3, and Trudy, who is no longer with us, we have her in her portrait. It stays.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, John was just like, oh my God, you're not going to believe what I did. And I was like, you're fucking ridiculous. And I love it.
It's better than those real life babies that they make.
Yeah. Oh God, those are creepy.
Oh, I can't deal with those things.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay,
do this.
everyone say hello to Mark.
Oh my God.
The 3-legged dog.
Oh my God, it's so perfect. Okay, if you're listening to this and not watching, you need to go find the video on YouTube. Just so you can see Mark's cuddle clone, because that's better than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be more of a cartoonish stuffed animal, but that thing is perfect. I need those of my cat. Where do I get these of my cats? Because now I need them. And I need to buy more to gift other people.
Yeah, I think it's just cuddleclones.com.
I think so.
Oh my God. Okay, writing that down. Because I owe myself a birthday gift.
Yeah.
If you weren't here for the patron only portion, it is in fact my birthday today. John and Jon were good enough to bring me cake. It's hard to taste since they're in St. Louis and I'm in Minnesota. But it looked really, really good. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah. So when you guys were on last time and you were talking about true crime, and I was talking to you through my headphones, but you couldn't hear me because it was a whole nother day.
Yeah.
I was thinking, have you read the book The Man from the Train yet?
I have not. I need to.
It is people who've listened to every episode, which I don't know why anybody would do that to themselves, but I've talked about this before, and The Man from the Train is the best goddamn true crime book I've ever read in my whole life, and it's about a serial killer in the early 1900s who just murdered people all over the United States.
Ooh, this sounds like a vacation read for me.
It's so good. I listened to it on Audible because I don't have time to read.
Okay.
Or the Focus, frankly. But I listened to a chapter per night when I was going to sleep.
Yeah.
It was very soothing to hear about axe murders. This guy murdered entire families all over the country. And it's one of those things where nobody really put these murders together because it was at a time before they had really fast communication. And how would they know this one family in Iowa was murdered and then there was one in Louisiana murdered, and it just didn't.
Right.
But so the guy who wrote the book Moneyball spent a couple of years tracking all of these different crimes and comparing them, and his daughter worked for him as his research assistant, and they just did, and holy fucking shit, like, these murders it's always the entire family. Nobody survives.
Wow.
It's always in the middle of the night. It's always within a mile of a train station. Like, it's just, this guy just went all over the country, got off a train, killed the first family he could find, children, everything. Like, the signatures are the same. It is so fucking good. Yeah, you have to read it. It's
okay. I'm going to have to order that tonight.
Somebody needs to make a movie out of it stat, because, I mean, documentary or drama, I don't care. I just need to see something on film of this because it's that fucking good. And it talks a lot too about the beginnings of journalism and just how they reported these stories. And how the towns reacted to the murders, and anyway, I won't ruin it. You need to read the whole thing. It's really, really good.
I will read it. We have a vacation coming up, so
perfect.
It's nothing, I like to bring a nice light read with me. So it's usually some sort of, it's multiple murder stories I bring with me. Yeah.
Or this one's perfect because it's not just multiple murders, it's axe murders. So it's really violent.
Okay.
Yes. Fucked up murders.
Okay.
So
yeah, our last vacation, I read one about a mom who was horribly abusive to all of her children.
Nice. Yeah.
And
okay.
No, I can't remember what it was called. But I was starting to read it on the plane, and people were like, "Oh, is that good?" I'm like, "I'm just starting to read it." But I read it really fast, and I was like, "This is not a feel-good book, but it's my kind of vacation book."
Wasn't it called just like Girl 3 or something like that?
No, Girl A. That was a different one. That was fiction, though. But
I thought that was okay.
No, there was one. Now I can't remember the name of it. Gosh, I'll have to go look because I can't remember. It came out last summer, but
okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I love a good, horrible, not feel good story. I don't know. Yes. I wonder why I'm like this.
I am too, though. Like it's.
I have to wonder, like, because it feels to me like it's largely a female thing.
Why aren't you into it?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Hey, I like true crime. Look, this gal likes true crime as well. But like,
it's just, I don't know. It's fascinating. It's like, I think reading the stories and like understanding the human element of the person doing the crimes and like what leads them there is fascinating, because just we do so much in the media of dehumanizing that person and just making them a monster, which I mean they do really terrible things,
sure,
but just trying to understand like what makes that person tick.
Yes, what led them to that point, where they were capable of doing that thing. And then it's something it's so outside the realm of anything I would be able to do, that I think it's just kind of interesting to try to figure out what it's like. But I think it is I think the appeal for a lot of women, speaking very generally, is the whole idea of watching it for clues of what not to do.
Exactly. That's what I tell him. I'm like,
it's you're kind of always in a state of fear that you're going to be attacked. And so when you're watching these shows, you're like, oh, well, I wouldn't have left my fucking garage door unlocked. That was the mistake. And even if you don't mean to do that, that's kind of what you're going through all the time. Well, see, I wouldn't get murdered because I don't live by myself in a ground floor apartment. So.
Oh, I'm thinking more like that person got caught, so that's not a way I would murder someone.
Well, that too. I mean, that's definitely part of the appeal for me. And my husband knows. He's told my children multiple times that if he ends up dead, they need to point the police right at me. And he's not wrong.
I mean,
but I've watched enough of it to know how to get away with it.
Exactly.
Some of these criminals are just idiots. Like, what? Come on. You didn't know the ATM took pictures of people? Like,
yeah, but see, I feel like if I disappeared or was killed, the police would look at your watch history on Discovery Plus and they would be like, oh, this bitch did it. For sure.
They would be like, this is totally normal, typical female behavior.
Yeah. Bitches be crazy. Am I right?
It's true.
I was telling someone this the other day. When we were in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, I would be in the elevator by myself. I never got on the elevator with just a single man, because why in the world would you want to get murdered? But when I was on the elevator with nobody else, all I could think was, there's footage of this and they're going to show it on Dateline if and when I'm murdered. So I need to either look really cool in this video or I need to do something really weird so that people can keep, like the Cecil Hotel thing, so people can just debate, was I losing my mind? Was I possessed? What happened? And it'll be like my gift to people after I'm gone, is debating my demise and what really happened. And, hopefully that footage is somewhere in there. That, reminds me, so I was watching a true crime thing the other day about the Las Vegas MGM Grand mass shooting.
Mm.
And I'm curious what you guys think about this. So, you know, we spent a whole week in Las Vegas. That's why you were here last time, because I was gone in Las Vegas. So Amy with an I just totally brought you on so she could have you all to herself.
Yeah.
And we stayed at the Luxor, which is connected to the Mandalay Bay. And the Mandalay Bay is where that shooter was. Like, he was on the 32nd floor at Mandalay Bay shooting down into MGM Grand. But when you're there, you would never know anything like that ever happened. There's no memorial. There's no, because they don't want, you know, you're supposed to be going there to have fun and have a good time, and you don't want to remember mass fucking shootings.
Right.
But does that seem kind of fucked up at the same time to you? Like, the largest mass shooting in modern American history, and there's nothing to commemorate it. It's like it's just gone.
I guess I could see it either way. I could see that. I could see why there would be a commemoration. Because, yes, it's a historic moment, not a proud moment, but a historic moment. And a lot of people died. Looking at it from the Vegas perspective, they're like, fuck, we want people to drop as much money as possible here. And if they're sad, they may not do that.
Right.
Not in the casino.
No.
Yeah, it's escapism. And yeah, I mean, certainly in Vegas, you really wouldn't want something like that. Because space is at a premium in Vegas.
True.
Every single square inch has to be for entertainment and making money, right?
Yep.
And so if you were erecting memorials for this and that, I mean, I am not trying to minimize the
I totally,
but you know, if you were doing that, then you are essentially losing money, and I think Vegas cares more about that than they do.
Wait, you're saying Vegas cares more about capitalism than actual people? That doesn't seem right.
No. No, Vegas is all about charity.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched the CEO of Mandalay Bay talking in this documentary about how much the Las Vegas community is a community of people. Oh God. I'm just watching it going, I totally get why this guy is saying everything he's saying, and I would say the same thing in his position. I get it. I get why. But at the same time, it's kind of like, just stop. We all know you're just doing corporate speak for we all understand how this works.
Right. Exactly.
That one fascinates me though, because they just never found a motive with that guy. Which boggles my mind. Like, how in this day and age do we not have more of a clue as to why he did that? You know, I don't know. The FBI kind of pieced some things together, but there's just no motive.
I don't know. I haven't read much about it, but I heard about the shooting that happened in Buffalo. Was it yesterday or was it today?
I think it was like this morning.
I think it was this morning outside of Buffalo, New York, where
I cannot keep track.
There was an
shootings in
18-year-old
America
who like totally decked himself out in combat gear, took an assault rifle to a grocery store in a predominantly African-American neighborhood and murdered 10 people while he streamed it on Twitch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know,
fucked up.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think we need to ban white males, especially the younger ones, until we figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because let's not lie, these are usually white men.
Oh yeah.
Usually younger, unless you're the MGM shooter. Right. But this idea, it's like there's something in them that makes them feel entitled to do that. That's talking about true crime being fascinating. That fascinates me. Like, what is it that makes them think, okay, I need to do this thing and I need to hurt multiple people, because that's a reasonable way to deal with my anger.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that if it's messaging that they receive at home, or if it is messaging that they receive online, or if it's just something they come up with on their own, or if it's a combination of a whole bunch of things. Like, I don't understand what leads to that, right?
Yeah. Same.
I just don't get it. And what would make you come up with the idea of, oh, let me go hit up a place where everybody goes because they need food.
Yeah.
I'm sure to find people there, and I'll just go. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand.
It's just like there's just nowhere that's safe. And you know, I catch myself just being out at Target or wherever, and every once in a while just getting this twinge of, oh my God, somebody could walk in here any second, because it happens all over the country.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to fix it, which drives me crazy because I want to fix everything.
Right.
I just want to give all these boys a hug and tell them, just don't. I don't. Who hurt you? Like, don't hurt more people because you were hurt.
These kids, they're not old enough to buy cigarettes or alcohol or, you know, other things, but they're allowed to go get fucking guns. Like, seriously?
Or their parents have them and don't lock them up properly. Like, that kills me. Just we have guns in our house.
Yeah.
And I would not be able to sleep at night if I thought there was any chance my children could get to them.
Right.
At the same time, we make sure that it's not a taboo thing. Like, they know we have them, and they know where the gun safe is, and we've shown them to them, and we're very open about, if this is something you want to see, let us know, and we will show you. Or if you want to learn how to shoot them, I'm not going to fucking teach you because I don't know how to do it, and I have no interest in it. But my husband will take my kids and show them how to do it, and we have a big backyard, whatever. Neither one of them has shown much of an interest, so it's not that big of a deal. But like, even I can't get into the gun safe because I don't want to, and I don't have the combination, and I don't care enough. But even if I could get into the gun safe, I don't even know where we keep the ammunition because my husband keeps it in a separate locked spot. And he's not a hunter. Like, we're not a big shooting family. We mainly just have them because they're family heirlooms. Or we actually have, I think there's 2 we have that my dad actually owns, and we just store for him because he does not want to buy a gun safe because he's cheap.
Yeah.
So, and we all agree that it's better to lock those things up.
Yes.
Like, I can't imagine having a loaded firearm near your bed so that if you're startled in the middle of the night, you can accidentally shoot one of your children, or your kids could take that thing to school.
Right.
There's so much carelessness about it. And I think the only way to make it any better is to get insurance companies involved and let capitalism solve the problem. Frankly,
I mean, maybe I don't know. Like, we had a gun. John had a gun that was a family heirloom sort of thing, and I never grew up with them. Me
neither.
Never had them. I'm not comfortable having one in my house. I know what the statistics say, that I'm more likely to get killed by my gun than anyone else.
Yep.
And so we ended up getting rid of the gun.
Well,
well, you gave it to your son.
Right. So I grew up around guns.
Yeah.
I grew up shooting. In high school. We actually, in the school, had a rifle team. Wow. In our cafeteria,
I guess
we
that
had a
doesn't
shooting
surprise
range.
me too much. Yeah.
There were 12 people in the school.
Yeah. So I grew up around guns. I learned gun safety very young. Learned how to handle them. Learned how to not shoot myself or someone else. And so guns were never a big deal to me. You know, kind of like you're saying with your kids. Like, it's not like they're trying to rush out and touch every gun that they can because they know that they have access to them.
Right. Yeah.
They ask their dad, you know. So when I grew up and left the house, I never really, I've never, ever in my life felt like I needed a gun for home protection or, you know, personal safety, you know, to carry around with me in public.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous to me. I understand that some people feel that way. Just I don't identify with that.
Yeah.
But what my thing is my my gun safety is I will never own ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to fire my gun, which I don't have anymore,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but if I wanted to fire my gun, I would take it to the range, buy the ammunition for the gun at the range,
Yep.
fire all of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then leave with no ammunition. And I've never had a bullet in my house ever.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Well,
I mean,
and so the other day, John was just like, thinking of just home protection if we ever were to need it. We have several lightsabers, and the fucking things hurt. Every time we have lightsaber battles, someone gets hurt, usually because I am a little aggressive with them. Like I've almost broken his son's fingers off before.
God.
But seriously, like
Oh, that's cool though.
Imagine someone walks in, all of a sudden you're like, whoa.
I feel like they would turn and run away.
Yeah.
That's the hope. And if not, we
Yeah.
beat the shit out of him. Those things hurt.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't. I feel like I don't know if it's just that I just don't naturally worry that much about people breaking into my
I don't
home,
really
or I
either.
don't. I just statistically I know it's not.
Yeah.
Not that likely, and excuse me. I also know the statistics about I'm more likely to be killed by a gun in my house, and I've taken self-defense classes where the first thing they tell you is that you're more likely to have the gun taken from you
Yes.
and used against you than you are to protect yourself with it.
Yep.
And the only option for protecting yourself with it is to really know that firearm well and to shoot it. And that's just not something I'm willing to invest time in because I don't find it interesting.
Yeah.
When I worked at Planned Parenthood, my husband tried to get me to buy a handgun. We didn't own one. He didn't have one, but there were a couple of incidents where the clinic I worked at was shot at in the middle of the night. So I wasn't there, but we're in a rural area and part of my job was traveling to other rural areas. And my boss at the time, she had a concealed carry license and she grew up with her dad was in the military. She knew what she was doing. She had this weapon because she felt safer traveling the rural countryside as a Planned Parenthood representative.
Yeah.
But I just didn't. And there was a little period of time where my husband was just like, I really think you need to learn how to fire a gun and we should do this. And I was like, maybe this sounds morbid, but if somebody wants to kill me at work because I work for Planned Parenthood, they're more likely to just walk in and start shooting, in which case I'm sitting at the front desk. Am I supposed to run down the hallway to find my purse, to find the gun that I have, and then hope that all that adrenaline I have going keeps me calm enough to shoot people who aren't the patients at the clinic?
Right.
Like, the danger is just there and you just kind of have to deal with it. Or they're more likely to put a bomb in my car, which again, a handgun is not going to help me.
No.
So like the only situation I see is that I misuse the gun because I have too much adrenaline going because I'm freaked out, or somebody else gets a hold of the gun and kills other people with it. So for me, it's just not, I would not feel any safer. And again, like you said, John, I agree. Other people feel differently about that. And I know other people who do carry handguns and that they're people that I know what they're doing and know how to use them and train with them. But yeah, my husband grew up in not a shooting family. He grew up in a hunting family and they used to hunt. But he kind of just lost the taste for hunting at a certain point because he'd rather watch the deer eating corn out of our backyard than shoot them. It's just not something he wants. And I did not grow up around hunting at all.
Me either.
My dad didn't do it. It wasn't really a thing in my extended family, which is unusual for growing up in a rural area.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the people around me are hunters and take their kids hunting right away. And it's just not something I ever grew up around. But so yeah, guns, man, America's great.
Yeah.
I think that's the point of that talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, there was something I was going to ask you about. And now I can't remember what it is. So what's your favorite musical?
Mine or John's?
I don't care. Either one.
Mine is Wicked.
Yes, love Wicked.
I love Wicked.
Mm-hmm. John?
I think mine is the Book of Mormon.
Oh, yes.
Because I do this thing where I know that it's going to take a long time for a show to get to me or to the theater here and to be able to attend it if you can even get tickets.
Right.
And so the thing that I do is I will actually look up the soundtrack and I'll listen to all of the music before I ever see the show. And then
I do with all
when
of
I
them.
go into the show, I'm like practically singing along because I know everything. I know all of the songs.
That's how you do musicals. I just thought everybody
I like
did
to
that.
go in blind. I like to go in with no expectations or, I want to be able to enjoy it with a completely fresh perspective.
Yeah. I can see that when I went and saw Fun Home, I take that back. When I saw Fun Home, I knew a couple of the songs, but for the most part, I did not know the whole thing and really enjoyed it because you do get that element of surprise. When I saw the Book of Mormon, I already knew the entire soundtrack.
Yes.
Still went and saw it twice.
Yeah.
With my husband, who actually went to a musical with me, which is not something he fucking hates musicals, but he's like, yeah, I'd go see that. And it was so good he went a second time.
Yeah.
Which I was talking to someone the other day and I'm like, how is there anyone who hasn't heard the Book of Mormon the musical yet? It is the greatest thing. I was listening to it while mowing the lawn today, just yelling Hasadiga Eboi at the top of it. So yeah, it's great. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. But no, I do what you do, John. I need to know right now. I need to hear all the music. I need to have it memorized.
That was him with Hamilton.
Oh yeah. I had Hamilton.
I did. So I did the same thing with Hamilton, and I just absolutely fell in love with the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then when I was able to buy tickets for us to go see Hamilton,
and I was going in blind
right before COVID hit.
So it got canceled.
And it got canceled.
And we saw it on Disney Plus instead. But still, I went in blind.
Yeah.
Not the same as seeing it live, but
no. But still, it was a pretty good. I had a Hamilton party when it came out on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So when it came out on Disney Plus, I kind of had this, picture of what the entire show was like from the soundtrack, which isn't always accurate.
Right.
And I don't know if I told you, but seeing the play left me a little underwhelmed.
Really?
Like, the soundtrack just amazed me, but the play didn't wow me. And so I don't know, it's kind of weird.
You went in with expectations though. So this is my argument for I don't have a preconceived idea of what the show is going to be, so I can just experience it and enjoy it, or not. Cats, I thought was fucking weird. The only thing I knew about Cats when I saw it was, and that was the first show I ever saw in person. But the only thing I knew about Cats was memories.
Yeah,
that was it, right?
Yeah,
and so when I saw it. And these fucking cats come dancing down the aisles and shit. I was like, what the fuck? And these people are on stage pretending to lick themselves and stuff. It was just fucking weird.
I'm surprised you ever saw another musical after that.
I mean, I was 15 and went with my parents and or with my mom and her boyfriend that looked like George Costanza. That's what I don't even know his name. We just called him George Costanza.
That's great.
And then it was a while before I went to another one. But then, I saw Blast and Stomp and Phantom and I've seen I'm trying to think. I've seen a number of them and
Cats. I was fortunate not to be exposed to Cats until later in life.
Yeah.
So I had already developed a love of musical theater before I experienced Cats, which don't see. I've never seen Cats live. I've seen the videotaped version that PBS did.
Okay.
And I've heard the soundtrack, and I'm like, what the fuck is even happening here, and why is this popular? But I did get to see. So I saw Rent when it first went on tour, which I absolutely fell in love with that. When I went to England when I was 20, I got to see Les Mis in London and Phantom of the Opera in London within a 2-day period of time because
Oh wow.
like, I'm going to England, musicals, that's what I want to do. Pre-internet, I had to figure out how to get tickets.
Oh wow.
Pre-internet.
Wow.
From America. Like I wanted to get the tickets ahead of time.
Yeah.
I can't even remember how I went about doing that, but I somehow managed to get tickets to both of those shows.
Wow.
And yeah, I really didn't know a lot about Phantom, but I knew all the hype and that it was, I was really looking forward to it. And I knew nothing about Les Mis other than that it was popular, but
I've never seen Les Mis.
That one, I loved it so much. And then when I saw Phantom later, I'm like, that wasn't nearly as good as I thought it would be. But Les Mis was like, I was sitting in the theater just like the whole time, completely. Yeah. And the movie version can rot in hell. I fucking will hate Russell Crowe for the rest of my life for ruining Stars, which is one of my favorite songs from the play. And I just hate Hugh Jackman in general. Like maybe an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I don't hate him as a I think he is underwhelming for the hype that he gets. Maybe I should put it that way. I don't know. He's not that. I don't know. He doesn't really. Whatever. It was fine. I wish they had gotten actual theater people to do.
Yeah, for real. Because Les Mis is amazing. It is an amazing show in person. I've actually seen it twice. In the theater, and it's just exquisite.
So good.
But the movie was not a good adaptation.
No. Okay.
And I feel like none of the people, like, can they sing? Yes. Did they, like, can they actually carry a show? No.
Did they have Broadway voices?
No.
No. They had the one actress who played Eponine she was on Broadway, I think, doing that role, and she was very good. But yeah, bringing in the movie stars, just like you just ruined the whole thing that you've now turned off a whole bunch of people who may have liked it.
Right.
But now they saw this movie and went, what the fuck did I just
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like I wouldn't let the movie determine whether or not I see the live show.
That's
good. It's kind of like reading a book and seeing a movie.
I mean, it is.
One doesn't necessarily turn you off of the other.
Like I do want to see Les Mis. I haven't, and I don't want to listen to it ahead of time because I don't want to have one prize ruin. I felt like Phantom when I saw Phantom. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I feel like there's so much hype that I heard before I went, and people are like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever seen." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, it was good. I didn't dislike it, but it wasn't the best show I've ever seen in my life.
Right. No.
That's a good segue into the greatest show, man.
Boy, let's have a conversation about this.
Okay. So soundtrack wise,
yes,
the songs, the music for Greatest Showman are fantastic. I really love I think maybe 3-4 songs that I can just kind of listen to over and over and over because I just really like the music so much. Yeah. I have my Spotify has a whole show tunes, Broadway faves.
I have multiple playlists.
He likes show tunes and remakes, and I hate remakes generally. Like
some covers are really good.
Look,
I like covers. I'm terrible.
Don't if you can't, you're not gonna be Whitney or Celine, then just don't even fucking try. Like there's so many things that get ruined.
Okay. I will challenge that though. There is a song that as soon as we're done recording, you need to go find on YouTube, and it's from Les Mis. I Dreamed a Dream, but sung by Darren Criss.
Okay.
And in this gorgeous, like slow acoustic guitar version. It is so good. The way his version of it. You wouldn't know that it came out of a Broadway show listening to it. You would think that it's just kind of like a folk song or something. It's so interesting. But if you like The Greatest Showman, you also need to go on YouTube and find a video clip called, How I Saved the Greatest Showman by Jeremy Jordan.
Okay.
Which, if you're a total Broadway nerd like I am, you absolutely know who Jeremy Jordan is, but I realize not everybody
I don't know
may know who Jeremy Jordan is.
Oh no, I actually think that I have seen that clip.
Have you? It's so good. He did the not the workshop. He did the original reading, I think, when it was written, and Pasek and Paul, the songwriters, asked him to originally sing the songs for investors or whatever, and he got into it thinking, oh, I might actually be able to get this role in this. He was supposed to be like the Zac Efron role, and he did not get it. But he does this just amazing musical rendition thing of what happened and how Hugh Jackman wasn't even supposed to be there for this reading, and because he had to have a skin biopsy, and he ended up showing it. It's funny and just really, it's one of my. I might go watch it again. Jeremy Jordan is also just like a total Broadway dreamboat, and I think he's adorable, and I love everything he does. So, one thing I just realized, it's been about an hour, but in kind of wrapping up, so abortion. We can talk about that quickly in like 2 minutes, right? It's a pretty easy, uncomplicated.
I mean, I think, yeah, we've had some discussions about this lately, but yeah, I think that you summed it up. Was it yesterday when you're like, name one law that tells a man what he can't do with his body?
Yeah. I mean, to me, I had put something on Facebook earlier, but like, it just, imagine if there was a law that said you had to go give blood. Like, just think about that. Think about if the government said, listen, this would save lives. And so in an attempt to save lives, we are going to make sure that every citizen is required to go give blood once every couple of months, which is not that hard. It's not going to leave you less healthy. For a majority of people, you'll be totally fine.
Right.
The needle might hurt a little bit, but it's not going to take that long. Think of how many lives we could save. But why don't we mandate that? Like, why is that not something that we put into law? And if people think about that for a few minutes, I feel like they'll get there on their own.
I feel like the other part of this that is so infuriating for me is there's nothing done to support that woman or child.
Nothing.
After birth.
Nope.
No, and people complain about welfare queens and,
food stamps.
But you're perpetuating by forcing someone to follow through with a pregnancy that they don't want. You are oppressing them.
And to me,
not just them, like it's their children too.
And their entire family is affected by this.
And saying adoption is the answer. Like, I'm an adoptive parent. If anyone out there has ever fucking tried to navigate through that system, you fucking know how goddamn hard it is to do it privately, let alone through our public systems. They're a mess.
Well, and not only that, but I feel like as a person who has given birth twice, like anybody who's gone through that will tell you that even if you went through that pregnancy not with an not wanting that pregnancy, not wanting that baby, not wanting any of that, just the act of giving birth and having all of those chemicals hit you and all of those hormones, like, everybody knows what that feels like then. To look at that baby and to imagine that even if it was something that before you thought you could do, then actually having to hand that baby over to somebody else would be the most gut-wrenching, horrible, like, it adds such another layer of trauma to everything. And so we're telling people, you have to go through that too. You need to live with this for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
and you need to have that horrible traumatic moment forced upon you.
Yeah.
And everything in your body will be telling you that you need to protect that thing, but you need to just give it to somebody else and
Right.
and then go about your life and like just forget about it. It's fine. It's not. I can't even. I was telling someone the other day what pisses me off is that a lot of these anti-choice activists know that. They know that feeling, and yet they're willing to put somebody else through that.
Well, that, and let's just face it, the men, you know, the men who rule this country, they're not going to stop getting their boners and having their mistresses and getting them pregnant. And what's going to happen when they get pregnant? They're going to have them get an abortion. Let's be honest.
Because they can do what they want.
They can do what they want.
The exceptions for abortion are rape, incest, and me. Because if it's you, then it's, they'll find a way to justify it and make it okay in their situation because they knew what they were doing and it was different for them.
Right.
But for everybody else, they know what's best. And
it's so infuriating.
It infuriates me so much. And it makes me so mad that there's so many people out there who are anti-choice and who are okay with mandating that because of their religion and because that's what their religion taught them. And they're not at a point where they've really grappled with bodily autonomy or any of that stuff. And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people in America who are just reflexively anti-choice because that's just kind of what they grew up hearing. And we have a culture that, I don't know, shames having an abortion and shames people who've made that choice and makes it seem like the worst thing you could ever do. And
I am one of 5 children, and there are 4 girls in my family. I'm the only one who's never been pregnant ever. The other 3 have all had abortions, and my mom took them all.
Really?
And they're all anti-choice.
Oh my God.
Every one of them. It makes no goddamn sense.
See, that's the thing though. In their situation, they probably felt like they were justified in doing it for some reason.
But how can they take that justification away from anybody else? It's not their business.
Yeah, no.
It's not their call. It's the same thing as, it's the same as saying that gay marriage shouldn't be legal, right? Well, if you don't want to do it, nobody's saying you have to. It's just saying that somebody else can. That's all it is.
Yeah, and it's, to me, even if you can throw out every other argument and every other religious aspect of it, all you need is that bodily autonomy piece. We just don't, the state should not tell us that we can or cannot do a thing with our body. Like fundamentally, that's a bad idea.
I think that this, I'm really concerned about what this is going to do for things. And, this morning, and it's always Sunday morning, it's always during the news, there's like the men's health clinic talking about, has your erection not been as strong as it could be? Like, and they play it like 50 times. Why is it okay to talk about boners on TV and make sure that those are protected? But when was the last time you saw an advertisement for a female birth control?
Yeah,
Never. Like, it's been a long time.
Years ago, I was in a pro-choice group in town that has long since fizzled, but is now being revived by new young people, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
But I tabled at a local event. It was like a local trade, commerce, and industry show type thing, and our tiny little pro-choice group had a table, and it was awkward because we're in a rural area, and people would just walk by and like side-eye us, and the table right across the aisle from us was a pure romance table, which if people don't know what that is, it's like an MLM for sex toys. So I think it was a women's expo, so it was geared towards, women's things. I don't know. So these women would come in and go to the pure romance table and, oh my God, look at these dildos. We're having a drawing. And like that was somehow fun and cute and like acceptable, but they'd turn and look at our table and just be horrified.
Yeah.
And I remember even that day thinking, what the fuck is happening in a world where that's okay? Like, they're all fine with that. Let's all talk about sex toys and scented creams and all that bullshit, whatever. But then if we want to talk to you about birth control, it wasn't even, it was like, here's birth control options. And there was some abortion stuff, but really? You can hang out with your girlfriends and talk about sex toys, but not actual birth control. Wow. Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I'm just totally in despair, and I think there was plenty of time to fight this, and there were a whole lot of people that didn't want to think about it and didn't bother doing anything about it, and now it's too late, and we just have to wait for this entire thing to start over again and to refight for the same thing. And I wish I felt better about it, but like,
I don't.
I'm 45 today, and I just don't.
I am. I told John this morning, I'm like, we're in a red state. We're surrounded by a bunch of fucking idiots, and I want to go out and make my voice heard, but I also know it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Nope. And I'm gonna go vote against Ann Wagner like I do every 2 years, because fuck that bitch. And I'm gonna go vote against the stupid idiot that's running to take over Roy Blunt's seat, and I don't even know which fucking moron it is, but I think his last name is Shit or something like that. And I don't even know if there is a Democratic candidate, but I mean, the odds of someone who's not a total piece of shit being voted into office to represent Missouri are so slim.
Yeah, even a Claire McCaskill won't happen again here.
No.
Especially after the Trump wave. Missouri is on lock for Republicans straight down the board, and it sucks so bad.
Minnesota is weird because it was so traditionally a blue state and so very Democratic, and we've got this tradition in this state of the DFL party, just Democratic Farmers Labor. Like, it's Minnesota has a really cool Democratic Party history, but that is going away, and it's been gone for a long time in rural areas. My grandparents were registered Democrats because they were farmers. And they were farmers, and they cared about other people besides themselves. Now it's to the point where the area I'm in, I know that the next election is going to go 70% for the Republican and 30% for the Democrat, because that's just what happens. So I never sit out an election, and I vote in every single seat, and I think that's the most important thing you can do. But I've had so many people be like, call your congressman and demand change. Like, have you met my congressman?
My congressman wants this
shit. Oh, so does my congressman. That's a campaign promise, that they're going to get rid of abortion. So me calling my congressman really just takes time out of my own day and frustrates the hell out of me. And they're not going to change their mind. So it's like, and I've been watching this for years. I worked at Planned Parenthood in 2000 when George Bush came into office. And so for all these years, I've been watching these rights get stripped away, and slowly but surely things getting passed that restricted the right to abortion. So it really hasn't been a full right for a long time because nobody can access it. And so we were already kind of there. And yet people just kept letting that slide. And, well, what's so wrong with a 24-hour waiting period? I mean, that seems reasonable. Why don't we do that? What's so wrong with parental my child needs my consent to take an aspirin. So why would I want them to? Just all these little things that the Republicans kept chipping away at that they would make sound reasonable. The hospital admitting privileges and all of this shit that kept happening right in front of us. And nobody cared. which I realize is an over-exaggeration. A lot of people cared, but
Mhm.
from where I sit, it looked like
Right.
a whole lot of people just did not give a shit and went along with it and were like, and a lot of it was my generation who never had to deal with illegal. Like it was always legal and we never thought about that. And then all of a sudden, people are horrified.
Yeah.
And it's like, where have you been for the last
and
20
Right.
years?
Surprised. Imagine being
Yeah,
surprised that this is happening.
Okay, I have two comments about that real quick, and then I have to go start getting my child ready. But
No, I get it. Yeah.
one is that it really infuriates me that abortions are such a small percentage of overall pregnancies, that we're spending so much time and energy on this when there are real huge issues that need to be addressed in this country, and nothing is being done about those.
Yeah.
But the other thing I'm really concerned about is, in this case, they're overturning precedent.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Yeah, everything's on the table.
What's next?
Mhm.
And it's not just simply the concept of overturning precedent, but it is specifically the reasoning that they're using in order to do it.
Mhm.
And if you are some kind of crazy originalist, textualist, constitutional worshiper, whatever, that uses an argument like, well, it doesn't say that you have the right to do that in the Constitution, then everything is on the board, because the Constitution doesn't mention most things.
Right. It doesn't mention my right to dye my hair pink.
Or
Right.
the internet. It
Yeah.
doesn't guarantee you a right to podcast. I mean,
No.
there's none of that.
It
Right.
was
And
written
so-
200 fucking years ago. Things have
Right.
changed.
Right.
Yeah.
How anybody can, I don't know. We all agree with each other here.
Yeah. Ending on a high note.
Yes. So thank you both for joining me to celebrate my birthday and surprise Amy with an eye so that now she can feel the jealousy of, yes, there's my cake. I'm going to go have more of my personal cake that I have upstairs right after this. So
You're going to have more of your personal cake
good.
as well.
Enjoy it while you're looking at pictures of my cat hanging on your wall. And just know that I will send you some more or bring them with me in July when we go
I
to
can't wait.
Skepticon. So thanks for joining me. I should have read the Patreon comments, but it's my birthday and I'm fucking going to go eat cake. And so I'm not podcasting correctly and I apologize. If people want to give us money, go to patreon.com/secularsoup. I'm a bad fucking podcaster. Thank you so much, John and Dawn. Do you have anything to promote? I don't think you do, but if you
No,
do,
I would
you know.
say, first of all, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank
yes.
you.
And second of all, everybody needs to go to skepticon.org.
Yes.
And it's a free conference,
Mhm.
but you can donate to support.
I
It is
just
a
gave them
very
$50.
It is a very worthy endeavor. If you want to
Yes.
throw some money that way instead of giving it to the dumb Amy's, then you should definitely spend your money that way. That's what I would
mean, can they not do both? Is what I'm saying. Like, if you
Calls
have
both dumb.
Skepticon donation money, you also have Amy donation money. It's going to
Okay.
a good cause, which is pictures of my cat. So.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I will see you two in July at Skepticon. I agree. Give money to them and go take care of your children.
Okay.
And I will see everybody next time. Bye.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh shit! I have to do the outro. I'm so bad at this.
Thanks to all of you motherfuckers who put up with the Amy's droning on week after week. If you enjoy their delightful bitchcraft, please follow them on all of the social medias and send them all of your money on Patreon or PayPal. You can find them on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to bitch with other fans about the show, join the Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell Amy and Amy to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, text someone right now. Tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular Soup Creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.
At the end of the outro, this is just me saying thank you for listening all the way to the end, especially on my birthday. So, everyone have a good night. I'm 45 now. You're welcome, Amy with an I, for having Dawn and Jon without you. Goodbye.